Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first HubSpot user group of the year. This time, we will be talking about how to boost productivity with HubSpot's new AI tool, Breeze. And I have brought a very dear colleague to help us do a lot of demo inside the platform, but also to walk through HubSpot Breeze as Lars has been working a lot with that the past few months. We have a lot to cover today, so feel free to use the chat to ask any questions, and we will take them as we go along. And also, we are very excited to start both demoing and showcasing a lot of great stuff around HubSpot's AI. Just a few words on me. I am a co-founder here at Helium B2B. I've been working with HubSpot for approximately 9 years, and I'm also the current HUG leader of this HubSpot user group.
Yes, and hello everybody. I'm Lars, as Lotte just mentioned, and I am a senior advisor here at Helium. Been working with HubSpot for around 11 years now, and is also a HUG leader for another group, but we'll come back to that later.
Yes.
Let's set the scene, Lotte.
Yes, let's do that. So just before we kick off, HubSpot just launched their new State of Marketing 2025. And what's really interesting is that they also cover a lot of AI. So there are, of course, some predictions. There are a lot of great inputs, numbers, graphs that you can look into. But what we found very interesting is that we, of course, need to get into the mindset of embracing this new tech. We know that ChatGPT and AI has been around for a couple of years now, but we should definitely not be afraid to move fast because, of course, we risk getting left behind. And that's also why we want to really deep dive into the HubSpot AI tools today. And what is also very interesting in the state of marketing is that the AI will not take over our content jobs. AI will leave time for the craft, right? So you will have more time to do personalized content and personalized sales, and leaving a lot of your research and a lot of your analysis up to AI. And what is also interesting is that we are, of course, moving faster and faster towards AI. And if we look into SEO strategy and AI, almost 50% have said that they have seen an increase in website traffic due to AI. The same says that they haven't seen any. So we are at a point now where things can move either one way or another way. But 19% of marketeers, they plan to build an SEO strategy for generative AI search in 2025, which is kind of exciting to see what will happen in 2025. So if you are very interested in seeing how is my website performing from an AI perspective, HubSpot has launched an AI search grader where you can go in, you can tap in your domain, you can tap in your industry, your areas of expertise, and HubSpot will give you a score out of 100, and that you can also get, a full report email to you, so you can see, okay, where do I need to start working to really optimize my website for AI. So this was just a way of setting the scene, and now we're going to jump way more into the AI tools of HubSpot, and also in terms of talking about AI strategy, search strategy. Lars will also tell us about the content agent inside of HubSpot, which might be able to help you really enable this AI search strategy as well.
Yes, these are definitely exciting times, especially in the AI area, because everything seems basically to be evolving week for week, day by day. I think DeepSeek is a very good example from the last 7 days of how fast this area is actually evolving. And to be honest, when we start planning this session, we seem to be capable of covering everything in 45 minutes. Let's try to do it. We have to move fast because I think the most important thing is to get an understanding of what is happening with inside HubSpot regarding AI. First of all, they did a big rebranding not that long ago, meaning that the name Breeze, the brand Breeze, basically is the overall brand for everything that has to do with AI within HubSpot. So every time you see that name, you know something is going on around the AI sector, so to speak, and the way things work. If we should try to place that in buckets, these are the best buckets at the moment. They'll probably change. First of all, we have the Breeze Copilot. You know Copilots today. In a lot of places, you have Breeze agents. Agents is also a very big topic. Down at the right side, we have Breeze Intelligence, which is AI-based data enrichment tools. We'll definitely come back to that as well later in this session. And then we have, the one we don't really are good at putting into its own bucket, meaning we have AI across all the hubs within HubSpot and the Smart CRM. That can mean a lot of different things, and it does mean a lot of different things, but we'll try to cover as many as we can today. Let's go into Copilot as the first four, then we'll go into the different ones. And please use the chat, of course, if you have any questions. Sina and Lotte will be ready to handle that stuff while I'm talking here. Let's go to Copilot, meaning Copilots. We all know what that is. We have been used to ChatGPT. We have Copilots within Microsoft as a platform, as an example, and HubSpot definitely also have a Copilot function within HubSpot. And I guess basically you can say Copilot is something, a tool that works for you. Some would call it a personal assistant, a thing like that. And the good thing is it's always available when you're in the platform. And here I have to stop myself. If you have enabled AI in your platform, of course. And there we have to talk about privacy, compliance, GDPR, and all that. And we'll touch that at the end of this session. So bear that in mind. We have activated AI in this platform. So let's see what we can do. We have the Copilot always up here. So you can at all times click up here. And it is actually, for me, a good place to start to get an idea of what the Breeze Intelligence part, the Breeze Copilot can actually do for you. And you can get some very good examples over here. You can look into all the different functions you have available. You can generate email text, shop declines, meta text, etc. I'm not going to go through that today because there's a lot. You can generate images from different platforms. You can add a company, look at your number of deals, but it will go on, and this will probably continue to evolve during time. So I will be way behind at any time there. One way that I think Copilot is interesting in other aspects is the possibility to look into how AI is used directly on objects. So and I think I have to move this a little to get it into space. Let's refresh this. That we have the capability, for some reason I don't see it now, but you have the capability to actually get a refresh and update of that contact directly on the contact itself. I'm actually not sure why I'm not seeing it here, but you will get the same function here where I can get information on a specific contact as an example. That's basically what you see here. That was the function I'm looking for. For some reason, that was not on at the moment. Bear in mind, you will just get a brief overview. This is definitely evolving a lot inside the platform at this very moment. Breeze Agents, the second part of the Breeze AI platform, is probably one of the most discussed subjects at the moment, the way of using AI as AI agents, meaning somebody who's doing some work for you. Typically a task that you want to get automated that AI can actually help for you. So you can focus more on the fun, strategic stuff in your daily work. I think that is what is crucial there. You can send out a specific task to an AI agent. So for a marketeer, that could be generating a blog post, it could be transforming data content from one form to another. For sales, it could be prospecting, where it can really be great of collecting information from different platforms outside of HubSpot. And for customer success, it could definitely be something like getting the sentiment of the customer you are in contact with at the moment, and also help you with actually generating responses back to the customer. So if we look into the agents part of that, we at the moment have 4 specific agents within the HubSpot platform. It depends on your licenses and what areas you are in the platform, but we have the social media agent, we have the content agent, that is in the marketing side, we have the prospecting agent, which is in the sales hub, and we have the customer agent within the customer success part of the service part of HubSpot. We, considering time, will look shortly into 2 of them. The content agent, that is always very interesting how that evolves, I believe, on the marketing side, and we will also look in a little shortly into the customer agent, how an agent can actually help you in getting a good response to your existing customers. If we go to the content agent first, I would say that is a lot of different tools actually, but in the basis of it, they are good at producing text, images, and that is evolving a lot actually at the moment inside the platform, to produce blog posts, to produce landing pages, to produce podcasts even, like you do on Notebook LM from Google as an example. You can produce blog posts and basically just a helper in producing very specific content. And one way that can be done, and I've just made a quick sample here, is to produce a case study. So I want to produce a new web page on our website considering a specific customer case. So I haven't had an interview and some facts on the results we have done on that campaign. I've just made a arbitrary company here, Sheldon Group, and let's say we have generated 20% more leads in the last quarter using some specific feature. So a basic, probably not the best prompt in the world, but just as an example, so you can see how it works. And we can tell it what is the target audience, where they situated. We can select the company, that would be Sheldon Group in this example. And I can even focus it down to the ICP. So I can select the ICP, and I can select what is the content language. And now you see we will get a suggested title for this case study. And you will also get some SEO, as Lotte mentioned earlier, directly from SEMrush. So we can see, is this difficult to rank on for this specific subject? Let's select the first one. And then I could basically just download the full case study text, all the results I have from this specific company. Bear in mind with the sensitive data I just showed you. And now we'll just produce the content. And we wait some seconds, and it will then produce it within your own template you have on the website, or the landing page design you have on your HubSpot platform. Here we go. We have a suggested title as we selected it. We have some standard text built by AI. We have the results from the campaign, etc., etc. And now I could actually go in and select the different images and do a lot better AI generated images if I wanted to. But I think it gives a good idea of what we're capable of doing with this content. We could even go into the content remix part inside the Content Hub. We're not going to do that today, but just give you an idea of what we are capable of doing here.
So Lars, there is a question around, do you need HubSpot CMS to use this function, the landing page AI generation here?
Yes and no. You can in some instances use the landing page function, but it's, to be honest, definitely built for the CMS. I think that would be the fair answer. Also, what we can see is evolving within these functions regarding producing case studies, but you can also use the landing page production of via AI. So that could always be a way to use that if you have the marketing hub then.
Yeah, maybe also just a quick side note that the CMS also have turned into the content hub now.
Yes, so as you can see, there's a lot of different options now inside, depending on license, inside the content hub now.
Yeah.
And Remix is a beautiful thing to test out if you have the chance. That is definitely also evolving a lot in these times. We don't have the time. We will have to rush behind, but I hope that gives you some idea of what we are capable of doing.
Yeah. So definitely with all these content remixes, content agents, you may also want to have a look besides the marketing hub and look into the newly, I would say, released, not that new, but still content hub, because that is where a lot of stuff is evolving and also where the CMS is currently laying.
Cool. We'll rush on the AI agent part, now trying to move over to the customer success department via the service hub. And that is one of the most interesting areas in how can we, to me at least, how can we improve our responses to customers and getting a fast response, and also, to be honest, reduce the manual labor so they can focus on the more tricky parts, the more tricky questions and tickets you get inside customer success. So we can look at how we can build an agent that basically is in front of your personnel. So you can ask it to build an agent. I've just done the preliminary work here, where you connect it to your knowledge base and all different content you know is improving the responses from the agent. I hope that makes sense. So you put in the knowledge base, maybe articles from your website, and that is used as the background information inside the agent. This is very similar to what you can do in an AI project in Claude or in OpenAI or some of the other tools. So I think that will be something you can recognize if you're used to working with the other external tools. You can then ask it to get some reports on how we're actually doing. And I guess one thing that is very interesting in customer service is how many conversations are actually able to deflect. I'm not sure I like that word, but anyway, where conversations is positively answered without having any person involved in that discussion, that the agent can actually handle for it. You will then connect it to a customer agent, a chat function, and there you have all the normal functions inside the chat you then can use for routing a ticket where you need manual intervention and better answers, as an example. It looks very, very promising from the initial test we have looked at. Very easy to set up, very quickly to connect it to the content within your website and your knowledge base. I would definitely recommend that you have a look into this if you want to see how you can improve your customer success part via AI. I think that's very interesting. And then you can control the routing here. In what should be the responses and who should get that message. So when it's up running, you can then start training it and basically give it internal questions, so you could actually make your customer service people improving this part as well, day by day.
Yeah, so another question, Lars. Do you know if HubSpot is planning to launch the possibility to create multiple customer agents and train them on different content? We have multiple brands, products, and I can see that the customer agent have difficulties telling the difference.
It has, and I fully agree. I'm not aware of it, Jeppe, to be honest. I've had the same question So I haven't seen anything at the moment indicating that we'll be capable of doing that. But again, this is a fast-moving area, and there's a lot of private betas going on at the moment, but I'm not aware of that at the moment.
Yeah, and also we need to remember this is still in beta, so that a lot of stuff can still happen. This is the rolled out beta, but as Lars says,
Yeah.
still a lot of private betas going on.
Exactly. And this is, at least in my opinion, much better than what we had before. Good. And thanks for the questions. Please keep them coming. Let's move into Breeze AI across hubs and CRM, because I had no idea what I should call this. So basically everywhere where AI is embedded inside the platform to help you perform different functions. And that is a list that is going crazy at the moment, to be honest. So that can be how you analyze campaigns, how you automate evaluation of your deals, how you can create images around the platform. I just showed you on the case study layout, how you can do scoring. You can go on and on, data quality, etc. This is moving basically week by week if you follow the product updates. But look at this logo here. That will give you an idea of, hey, okay, AI is involved here. I'll just shortly look into two, deal score and forecast within sales. Deal score, because I really think that is a fantastic feature. You can turn it on and put it in the overview within your deals, and then you'll get this one. You'll get a constantly updated deal score for that specific deal. What is the platform's belief of this is a deal that is likely to close? And this is a good example, a long time running at low and then quickly getting a nice end results. And you also get an idea of why it's scored like this. My own experience from this one until now in different platforms is very, very positive. It seems so precise, actually.
Yeah, and we have discussed a lot also utilizing the deal score with the Copilot, really trying to research and do an analysis of the sales process. So really asking Copilot, so what happened when we saw the tweaks? Where are we performing very well in our sales? What can we do better? Stuff like that. So we don't have to scroll through all deal cards and company cards, but we can ask the Copilot to do that research for us. So that's also very nice.
Very much, very much. Yeah. The other one.
Lars, just a quick question
sure.
related to the deal score. So do you know if the ability to influence variables or positive, negative factors to correlate with your business cycle specific intent, that's for the deal score to match your specific business model or pipeline. Is it that intelligent yet?
Nope. This is typical AI function where you're not really sure what's going on, what is happening behind. I would definitely recommend that you get some details, but you will see you can't actually influence them that much at the moment. This is very, very much automated. You can probably compare it to what you could do earlier with the predictive scoring of companies and contacts, but so it's kind of a closed black box at the moment. So yeah, I agree, Nikolai. That would be great to be able to weight it a little based on situations. I also have other examples where you would actually also like to score on deals that are not created yet, right? As a customer will probably buy something in February or March. That would be great to anticipate. That will be probably for a later time. Let's move quickly to forecast. Again, we have this small logo. You can activate now a pane inside the forecasting panel. If you're on Sales Hub and you have not looked into forecasting yet, I would definitely recommend that you do. One of the challenges in there is to get proper forecasting, precise forecasting. That's all what we are all looking for in this. But if you activate the AI part here, that will look back 3 months inside your deals. I think I have it here. So if you have, and also I think I have it here just to be sure. You have the panel up there in your forecasting panel. You can then go to analyze, which is also in beta. There's a lot of beta going on. You can then turn on the AI forecasting, and you then again turn it on, and it will then go through all the deals you have from within the last 3 months, and then it will generate a forecast, which is in this case is a little stupid because I have no deals inside the platform for the test, but just to show you where it is, and it will then give you a forecast from what is expected and the highest expected. So you start to get some idea of in what area your forecast will be in. If I have it here, you can see it here. You have an upper amount and you have the most likely amount. For some platforms, you will see a big difference there, and for other platforms, you will see it's way smaller, depending on both structure and the markets you are within. But I would definitely recommend that you have a look at this, because it can be very, very helpful in getting a good idea of how we're moving this month and next month.
So
Okay.
just before moving way ahead, there was still a question back to the service part. I just didn't want to interrupt you. But can you utilize the customer agent outside the help desk or the customer support parts, for instance, as a website visitor greeter to influence action? So not the live chat, but still a customer service agent using the intelligence from your LLM, so the full like help desk you have or knowledge base.
Yeah, you can do a traditional chatbot via the knowledge base, because it's kind of divided into the AI part and the chatbot function we had before, connecting it to the knowledge base. But I'm to be honest not sure at the moment if you can use it for that specific area, to be honest. But I would definitely like to come back on that. If Signe, if you can note it, then I'll definitely try to find an answer on it.
Yes, we will. Perfect.
Okay, so that was very much inside content production, and it was in the agent part more producing different type of content or analyzing the data you have within the CRM. I think that's the two parts that is interesting there. Now let's look into what is called Breeze Intelligence brand-wise, which is kind of a stepping stone of different areas, but the main subject here is data enrichment. Enriching the data you have in your platform via some external service. And before we do that, we already had that. Yes, we had HubSpot Insights, and we had that for years. I can't even remember when that started. And if you look at it, that was actually data from the company Clearbit. So that was their data enrichment service that was used for HubSpot, but it said it was only updated once a year, according to Clearbit. So the data was also probably not the best quality, but it was very usable because we got the basic information from every company, especially the company name. So if you, for some reason, have seen a company name like this, that means you've been kind of in between the old HubSpot Insight solution and the new solution we're coming to here. So I'm talking about this toggle here, because HubSpot Insights is going to be sunset here in a couple of months, and it's not on new platforms if you're on a new license. And that was kind of annoying, because then for some reason HubSpot did this. They have recognized this as a problem if you have seen it and turned this off on an old platform. So it is starting to come back on all the platforms. I've only seen a few ones where it's back again where we had this problem. Just to be aware of that. We will lose this free version of HubSpot Insights, but we will still get the basic company name within it. within the platform. Because we now have Clearbit inside HubSpot. HubSpot did an acquisition of Clearbit, I don't even remember when, 1.5 years ago or so, where Clearbit has these functions that are now directly implemented into HubSpot. So we have company and contact enrichment. It can automatically enrich these entities. They have a function called buyer intent inside Clearbit that is also moved out into HubSpot, very much improved in my opinion, compared to the Clearbit version earlier. And then we have form shortening. So let's try to quickly run through those here today. First of all, we have the breeze intelligence, meaning the data enrichment part. At the moment, it can be a little difficult to see what you can do on this, because this is, again, UX-wise an automatic function. You can put it on. I'll come back to that a little later. And then it will just enrich data in the background if you want it to. But it's not very clear if it's good data for my specific company or not before you actually go into that, into using the platform. So the good thing is, short time ago, HubSpot put in this check enrichment coverage, and that will give you some idea of how we are actually doing on this specific customer or company or contact. So you can actually see here what data points, what properties within HubSpot can Breeze Intelligence actually put new data into. I hope that made sense at all. We can see this is still an evolving project. At the moment, there's about 50 plus attributes that is updated. That was 40 a month ago or so. So we can see that HubSpot is constantly improving this, because in the old Clearbit that is running on some platforms, it was actually over 100. So we are seeing improvements in this day by day, just so that you're aware of it. And I think it's also important to say that HubSpot is not alone in the data enrichment part. Maybe you can put a word on that, Lotte.
Yeah, so we have discussed a lot. Is Clearbit or Breeze Intelligence always the best solution? And we have had some discussions with also some of our clients, and we would definitely say it depends on the use case, it depends on your industry, it depends on your target market. So there are definitely other solutions out there that also plug directly into HubSpot, has an integrated app such as Vino, Clay, and so forth. So as Lars said, we really recommend to do the testing. How much can Clearbit actually enrich? Of course, if you sell a lot of goods in the US, stuff like that, it will definitely help you a lot. If you're mainly Nordic based, we would definitely also recommend you to look into other databases that is very strong in the Nordics and may give you a better enrichment than Clearbit can. So even though it's very accessible inside of HubSpot, it might not always be the best solution. So definitely do some test samples from other providers when you're looking into data enrichment.
Very much agree. This is it's a topic that can be leading to hot discussions, because the data quality is different from not only vendor to vendor, but also from business sector to business sector.
Yeah, and also depending on which use case you have, using third-party data, we have clients that have built a very nitty-gritty lead scoring based on third-party data, where they enrich a lot of different attributes to score company engagement versus company value, the same on the context. So definitely, depending on your setup, you need to be aware that the data you're enriching are great quality data. So depending on use case, depending on industry and target market, you may find a better fitting solution.
True. Fully agree. Let's move on inside this area of Breeze Intelligence to buyer intent. And what is buyer intent HubSpot wise? I think that's important, because we also mentioned this subject in our latest HUG meeting. on subject of lead scoring, where we also talked about how we could use buyer intent. Does the customer have an intent to buy anything from a company, or that they are just not? Are they just researching at the moment? And we discussed that in that aspect. And in this aspect, when we're talking inside Breeze, it means that we can look at different web pages within our content that are indicators of a buying intent. So that's nice, but I also want to stress this is only for page visits that we can do this. That's still very interesting, but that could be a lot of other signals we would recommend that you look into. So basically what we have is this interface, which I really believe is nice, based on we can define our target market inside the platform via this interface. So I can go in, define a target market. I'm not going to do it today because of time, but you probably can see I can add industries, etc., and slowly describe what is my market. And you can do that several times at several markets, and then you'll get a total addressable market in the language of this. And that means we can now start looking at companies that are visiting our website with probably the intent of buying. That was many words of saying, as an example, looking at the pricing page, looking at different other important pages, maybe looking at the pricing page for the third time, or how you see those signals within your own platform. So you will actually get something like this, the number of companies you can address. In this example, we can see 5 companies that has visited your website on these pages, and 3 companies you actually have in your CRM. So we have this flow from reverse IP tracking in the middle to actually discussions with customers within CRM.
2 questions, Lars. Will buyer intent cost Breeze credits?
Yes.
And second of all, will this only work with HubSpot pages or also with a generic website with the HubSpot tracking script running?
Only with the tracking script running, yes.
Yes.
So you could do WordPress pages as an example.
It works outside the HubSpot CMS.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So we have kind of a combined describe my market, a reverse IP function like we had in the old HubSpot prospect function that was hidden in the last couple of years. Now open, like lead info or whatever you could look into in different aspects, and then directly associated to the CRM. HubSpot defines the total addressable market via the thing I just showed you here, that I can look at the configuration here. So you will define a number of target markets. So it could be different market segments, it could be different countries, but it will always then be added here to a total addressable market. I hope that makes sense. I just saw that in the chat. So now we get the intent data directly within HubSpot, and it's usable in the way that we can look at if it's this customer that has this company that has visited our website, are they in our target market? And if they already are in our CRM, it will be stressed here. We'll get the intent signals as well, based on what you have described as an intent signal. I think this is really off to a good start on how we can get a much easier way of handling intent data, because it tended to be kind of a manual process before, and now it's much better integrated within your approach. Yeah, addressable market. You'll get the slides, you'll get the recording, so no reason to go into more details on this. We also have form shortening within the platform. And basically it means if you can set it up, so if, and I think I have it here, if you have not the most exciting form, but I think you get it. If I have a form like this, then I can say, I would actually like you to fill out this field if you have the data already within Breeze in the external data. So if you have that, remove that field. So in this example, if I were allowed to do it for this field, I would this field would basically just be removed from the form when the user sees it on the website. So from the idea that the fewer fields you have in your form, the bigger the conversion rate you will get. Test on your own data if that's true, but in general, it's said that you'll get a 4% improvement for every field you remove. That's based on old Clearbit data from all their tests doing this, because this is also an old Clearbit function that is now implemented inside HubSpot. Look into it. Again, be diligent on data quality in your area if this makes sense or not. But it's a nice feature.
So just a quick question last before, because we also want to touch upon the legal stuff here. So we would like to cover that before we run out of time. But how will it cost credits? Is it for adding companies every time the intent is happening when we talk about the buyer intent?
That's a good question, which I want to be sure to get the correct answer on that, on that part, on the cost part, on the intent part. So I think we'll include that, Sina, in our response afterwards.
Perfect.
AI and compliance, as Lotte said, very, very important, because maybe this was not well-used time if you are not going to set it on the AI functions because of privacy issues. What HubSpot is saying is HubSpot's AI is rooted in trust, transparency, and accountability. For me, that means 1 point, you can turn it off, you can turn it on in different areas, so you have some control of what it is allowed to do and what sensitive data you should avoid to get, it shouldn't have access to. That's one side of it. For most legal departments, this would probably not be enough. So here is our recommendation that you look into these two sites. These are two sites that I believe is very important in this. First of all, the one that tells you, and I can see we have a few questions in the chat as well, maybe that can be answered via this site. First of all, we have the Behind HubSpot AI site. And if I go over here, you get a description on what models are used. So very, very openly, what is the different models and how are they used? Because many of these models can be obstructed by the very fact that they are US-based, like OpenAI. So if you look at this part, that's interesting. First of all, you get a fantastic overview, much better than what I've just been trying to do, of what AI functions is actually within HubSpot at this very moment. So I can have a look here. I can look at the customer agent as an example, open the cart, and now you will see what data is it working on. And it should also tell me what model is actually in use at this very moment. This can be changing, and sometimes you'll see more models involved. So this is really a recommended site to look into for the different functions. Really recommended to look into that. The other part is the more general security part of HubSpot, the trust at HubSpot.com. Where you get all the SOC 2, SOC 3 documents, GDPR documentations, penetration test reports, all that stuff that is on the more general side of regarding your portal on HubSpot. So I would definitely recommend that you look into both of them to get an idea of what platforms outside HubSpot is involved in all of this. So that also means that we have this and we had that to describe what is actually within the platform. We are now basically on time, but I think we have time, Lotte, for a few questions if there are any questions in the chat.
Yeah, I think I covered the credits part, but thank you everyone for joining. If you have any additional questions, we would stick around for just a few minutes. But other than that, we hope you enjoyed, got a lot of great input, and we will see you next time. The recording and all the slides will be available very soon.
Sure. Thanks. Hope that gave you kind of an overview, and I wish you all the best in all your endeavors within the AI, because these are definitely exciting times in this area. Have a great day, everybody.